Hey class, welcome back to Chapter 10, Statistics and Probability. Today we'll be looking at Exercise 10F from the Year 7 textbook, Stem and Leaf Plots. So on a stem and leaf plot, we actually split the data into two pieces. So we have the stem and the leaf. Okay, and that will make a bit more sense when we do an example. Okay, the stem must only contain consecutive numbers. So what that means is that we go up by 1. Okay, so maybe I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we don't go 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, we go every single number between the start and the end point. And then the leaf, or the leaf half of the plot, contains only single digits. And that's how we decide how to split our data pieces up. We always include a key so that we know how to read the data. So that doesn't mean much of anything without an example. We've got a lot of numbers on the screen now. We're going to construct a stem and leaf plot of the data. Okay, now I always recommend doing this in sort of two parts, okay? I start by sort of a really rough one and then I'll neaten it up later. So I've got stem and leaf and I literally label them stem and leaf. So I can see that I've got a few single digit numbers, so I'm going to break them up by their tens. I've got my smallest number, I think, is 3, and my largest number is 54. So I'm going to go up by tens in the stem. So I've got 0, my tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Now this is going to be really messy, and that's okay because we'll make it really pretty later. Okay, so the first number I've got on the list is 16. I'm going to cross it out and write the 6. So what this means is that this 6 is read as 16. So I'll put the 10 in the stem and the 6 in the leaf. Okay, 19, I'm just going to put 9 down because, again, the 1 in the stem here and the 9 in the leaf means 19. 25, I've got 9 and 4. I'm just going to cross them both out. I've got 14, so I'll put the 4, the 7 for the 17th, 23, 10, 54, 23, 27, 36, 12, 19, 5, and 30, and 3. Okay, so that is a very messy stem and leaf plot. My next step is going to be to draw it out nice and neatly. So I'm going to start by drawing a much straighter line. Okay, stem and leaf. So the titles don't change. My stems don't change either. I'm going to call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's each one row. Now when I neaten up my stem and leaf plot, I need to put each line in order from smallest to largest, okay? So we want them to be in order from smallest to largest, and that helps us later when we introduce some more statistic stuff, okay, in year 9. So my smallest number of the list I've just highlighted is 3. So I'm going to put the 3 first, and then we go to 4, and then we go to 5, and then we go to 9. So now they're in order from smallest to largest. Same with the next line. I start with 0 because 0 is the smallest. 2, 4, 6, 7, and the 2 9s. Okay, and it might help you to cross them out, it might not. The next line we've got 3, 3, 5, 7. It's also important to note if you've got the same number appearing twice, you still write it twice, okay? 0 and 6 because 30 comes before 36, and then 54. I'm now going to completely get rid of this because I don't need any of it on my page, okay? I've made it nice and neat, so you're welcome to do it in Graylade first. I'm just going to have a few more questions pop up here in a moment. Okay, so what you might notice is that these numbers are all in line if we go down the columns. Okay, they're in line, 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 line. They're kind of evenly spaced as well, okay? So it's similar to how we did our dot plots and our bar charts and column graphs, okay? They line up nice and easily because then that means we can read the data nice and easy as well. If I was to flip this on the side, it would look a little bit like a dot plot or a bar graph, okay, with the shape of it. And I can see I've got a lot more in this group, a lot more numbers in the 10s than I do in the 1s, 20s, 30s or 50s, and I've got none in the 40s. But because I don't have any numbers in the 40s in this range, it doesn't mean I don't include this line. I still keep it in there. I just don't write anything in the leaf, okay, which means that there's actually no numbers in the 40s, but we don't skip the step, okay? It's really important that we do not skip the step. That is it for our stem and leaf plot. We should add a key as well so that we know how to read it. I'm just going to put it here. So in this particular graph, we have a 2 before a 3. So we write the big line, okay? 2 before the 3. We read that as the number 23. Okay, and it might be, you might put units here. Maybe it's 23 centimeters. Maybe it's 23 kilograms. Okay, and you can put those units in your key as well. All right, but what this key is telling us is that a 2 before the line, or 2 in the stem, and a 3 on the leaf equals 23. Okay, not 2.3, not 203, okay, not 2,300, okay, it's just 23. Okay, and that helps us read the data back later. All right, a couple of questions now just from that plot. What is the biggest score, the maximum score on the graph, on the plot? So the largest score is the one that we listed last, and this is why it was so important to put them in order from smallest to largest. So the biggest number in this data set was 54, and again, we can use that key to help us read it back. Okay, just flicking colors. Okay, what is the minimum score? Again, we put them in order from smallest to largest, so the minimum score is the first number on the list, okay? And in this case, it was 3, okay? We could write 03 if you want, but 03 just means 3, okay? There's nothing in the tens. And finally, what is the most common bracket of scores? We are looking at the one with the most numbers in it, which we've already identified to be this one here. Oh, I cannot draw that anyway. Okay, so that group there is our most common bracket of scores. Okay, and we write that, you can just write it as the tens if you want, okay? Or we could write it as 10 to 19, because that's the last number we'll have in that group, okay? And then after that, we'll be looking at the 20s. So once we hit 20, we start looking at these, okay? So 10 to 19 is our group on that stem. That's all there is to it, guys. Hopefully I didn't move through that too quickly, but as always, if you have questions, send them through. Otherwise, good luck with the work, and I'll speak to you all very soon.